It's the coffee pot challenge, which means I'm picking 3 things out of my tin to craft with today. Hello and welcome to the Treasured Page. I'm Melanie and this is our quiet crafting space. And today I shall be picking out 3 items from this tin, which are things from my supplies, and I shall be crafting with them. So let's have a look and see what we've got. Okay, so I'm putting those there. And we'll work out what we've got today. It is a label, all right. Scraps, excellent. We've got plenty of those. And lace, okay. Scraps, lace and a label, or labels. Okay, scraps. Oh, I'm quite pleased with this. I'm quite happy to sit and play with scraps. All right. Okay, let's settle in and have a look at the scraps today. So this is my tray of bits and bobs I've got going on here. Things that we've made from past sessions. And just a nice little thing to pull from, all right? So I've got things that you'll recognise if you've been following along. I'm thinking clusters. Let's have a go at clusters. Okay. Not interesting enough. I want sort of, oh, a little pocket, that's nice. Well, that you could put a cluster on that. All right, keep that out. I'm looking for book page and something like that. Oh, here we go. Book page, ephemera bits. Let's get a few clusters going. Then we take the edges off of it. So we've got that. Do it again. And again. Now we've got that, so that's fine. This could be a big cluster or it could be part of the cluster. All right, then we've got this. This is interesting. So we could put that with that. We could have this with this. Clusters is all about layering. Sort of interesting, less interesting, more interesting. And do it in a methodical way. Or you just throw it together how it feels best. This is interesting, the old vintage ephemera. Okay. Alright, so that's interesting. So we don't want to cover up too much, we want to be able to see it. Some book page, getting rid of the edges, that's lovely. That's a perfect size scrap. You can see that that would go on something, so you could almost do it like this. So use where you would eventually put it as a guide, and then you can see where you might want to put things in an arrangement, nothing lining up, overlapping, steps. Can you see here? Let me get a pointy thing. So we've got a step, 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 and a step. You've got a straight line, then you've got a wavy line, then you've got another line. You know, it's interesting. You could do it all lined up there, but it's interesting over here. And then you might want to put something there, or put something behind there. Or maybe we want some packaging. So I'm taking off the straight edges and just have a little play with your scraps. Okay, so a cluster can be something as simple as this. Boom, done, cluster, and then something on the front, something fun. Stamp, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh gosh, I've got to do a label and a lace. Getting carried away here. Okay, now we can add lace. Okay, so in order to be able to see how the clusters are going to look, I'm going to need to make my labels. I'm just going to cut some strips. So these are the stickers from the office supplies, okay, from the shop, from the stationery. And this is just a strip of photocopy paper that's had tea or coffee staining on it, and I'm just cutting them to a similar size as what I could see in front of me. Let's get them straight. So I've got, I won't cut that because it's got a, oh, okay, that had a crease in it, and now that's not straight. And then I'll just cut that like that. Alright, so I've got a little small stack there. I don't know how many I've got there, but hopefully I've got a similar amount. Let's compare. Alright. So these are my coffee dyed papers, and this is my office supplies. Right. Now I'm going to take my corner rounder, this little one that I've got here. I've got a couple of corner rounders, but this one seems to be quite successful. And I'm just going to do the arduous task of taking the corners off. And then, whoops, like that. And then, it's not quite the same because the corners were quite rounded, but it's still a label. And if I want to go smaller with it, I can cut them in half and just do that again. Okay, so I've got my little labels here. I'll just put them on the white background so you can see. Is we can either ink round, because they don't look that fantastic. So we'll just see what a darker edge does. Okay, so on the left we've got the ones that are edged in brown ink. That was the Ground Espresso. That's a permanent ink by Tim Holtz. That's for no other reason than I couldn't get the tin of the others out because I've piled so much stuff on top of it that we're operating on whatever ink is available. And this is a grey colour, so that could be any kind of grey ink. It doesn't have to be Tim Holtz at all, it just needs to be a darker colour ink. So there we are, the two different colours. So that's your labels, very inexpensive. So that was just a bit of stained paper using tea bags or coffee. Then we've got a cluster here, so we've seen that. So it's a bit of packaging paper from, you know, essentially something you would throw away. Then that's a bit of book page, so we layer that on. Then we layer something interesting, a little digital kit or something, decorative paper of some sort, something from a magazine, a colour anyway, and then a piece of lace. Alright, and then we're going to see about putting a label on. It's quite nice to have labels orientated that way. We can never find them, so it's quite nice to make them so that they go up that way. That could be good. And then put a little botanical image on it. How about that? What would that look like on a cluster? If they were going that way up with something on it. And then these ones be that way. So there's something interesting already. So we might want numbers. We might have some rub-on transfers. You might have, oh look, I've got letters here with numbers. So I might want to put that on there like that. So I've got a stamp here with a lot of different stickers and tickets and postage marks. And that one says postcard, but that might look quite nice going across that label. So I might have that out of it and see what that looks like. Alright, so I'm going to use my black ink, and I've got two little botanical images there for these upright ones, and I'm going to stamp postcards on there. That's the plan, but it could be numbers, it could be letters, it could be Tim Holtz has got things, if you've got anything like that. It could be leaves, it could be, oh, I don't know, anything really. What's this one? They've got this. That one's nice. Butterfly, half a butterfly, no, feather. Ooh, how about a feather? That would fit. Go through your stamps, see what you've got. Let's have another, a leaf. What have we got? Something that comes off the page, so you just get a little element of it. That's quite a nice idea. All right, I like that. I like that one there. Maybe that's a good one. I've never used these ones before. Oh, can't get them off. All right, so I've got some botanical ones. I've got leaves and ferns, and then I've got this idea here which says postcard. So let's try that one first. So that was a good find. All right, so it's not going to fit completely. Oh, that's good, isn't it? I've got brown ink on my fingers already. Right, I like this. These are good. So these are little postcard labels. They're going to be in brown, because that's sort of quite vintage to have it in brown. I think that was a bit wonky. Oh no, that's fine. Oh, quite like that, where it's come out a little bit wobbly. That looks even more authentic, actually. If it's not perfect, a little bit shaky. Lovely. Those are fantastic. Oh, I'm pleased with those. Okay, so let me just show you. So this is the journal. It's all very thin at the moment, but it won't be. This one here is my French postcard, which I found, and look, that's on the back. So that's what an old postcard looks like. I love that. It's all it is from France, Normandy. I looked this up. This is Aramanche in Normandy in France, which is if you picture the England, if you picture the UK. At the bottom of the UK, that's where I live, at the very bottom where the coast is, the flat bit, then you've got a little island, that's the Isle of Wight. Well, just the other side of the Isle of Wight, so right of the Isle of Wight. So if I were to swim from where I live, if I swam to France, I would be in Aramanche. What? It's as the crow flies from my house to the town in France. And that postcard fell out of the drawer. I didn't even know I had it, just fell out. So, where's that then? That was really interesting. So I thought, oh, yeah, if I fancied swimming the English Channel, that's where I'd end up. How interesting is that? I thought that was interesting. I thought I'd share that with you, my little whimsical findings, my musings of the day. Okay, let's space these out. These are little tiny teenies, but I like that because they're useful. They are then little useful bits that sort of slot in somewhere and become a little bit of interest and intrigue. Oh gosh. Oh, that is nice. I'll show you in a minute. I'll bring them up. Little fern. Well, that's pretty. And this one. I think I quite like the black. Let's try the black. Ah, oh, that's nice. That's the winning one, I think. The leaf. That's really nice. Okay, here we go. So the coffee pot challenge didn't say rubber stamp this week, but we've used the rubber stamps to make the labels that we can incorporate with our other things, and we've used scraps of paper to create the little tiny elements here, and I've stamped little botanical images on. And if you haven't got little stamps, just check the corners of some of the stamps, because even though if you've got any silicone stamps, if you have a look, you'll see maybe 2 leaves just coming in there, or some berries just on the corner, or maybe just the tip or the corner of a wing, just enough so you know what it is. So there's my labels. So I'm going to use that. So that was the free easy peasy labels. So we've got ink and stamps and scraps, and that's just created us some labels, which otherwise would have cost a fortune. Or if you've got anything like this where you've got just some household labels, you can do something like this. You can get your ink pad. Right, let's do it over here. You can just grunge your stamps up with your ink blending tool. You can use a makeup sponge if you haven't got it, but it does suck up the ink, so you can use that if you haven't got the ink blending tool. Okay, so it's all possible. Now this is a little bit of brown and a little bit of grey, so we've got an interesting colour going on there. And then maybe you have something more official like a postage mark stamp. I'm going to use the brown ink. I think the brown, let's try the brown. Okay. I think this could have been a Tim Holtz stamp, I'm not sure. It's a silicone stamp and it might have come with something. Do I like the brown? Let's try the black, just in case the black just sort of looks better. Let's have a go at the black. Yeah, maybe the black's better. Yep, good, okay. Well, it's not better, it's different, it's just looks more official. Oh, we've gone off, that's quite good. Okay, so now we've got our labels all made up, we can now add them to our clusters. So when we're just getting our clusters together, all we're going to need is some glue. This should be fine, or something a little bit like that. And I'm going to want something a little bit more stronger for the lace to stick on. But it doesn't have, that's quite a chunky lace, so you might have something else. I've got a bit of blue here, let's see what this does. Got that on the crease because it's creased. So I'm just going to now put this together and see what I think. And then it's just a question of having a play with the papers and seeing what suits, what's going to fit, what's going to look nice. Stick that on there. Yes. What was the other thing? Lace, label, scraps. That's it then, isn't it? Lace, label and scrap. Okay, good. Right, that's one. So when we've got the cluster that we like, you just want to stick some glue. Now the nice thing about a cluster is you don't want it all completely stuck down. You want to have it to be loose. So it's only really the middle bit you're aiming your glue. So I'm just sort of putting some glue in there roughly. So that's those bits now stuck. So that's done. These bits are able to peel up. And then that's really what a cluster is. And then I just put a bead of glue along here for the lace to attach to. And then I'm just going to put my label on, and actually this is probably the one bit that I want to stick down all the way around. so that it doesn't ping off because it's going onto a fabric background. And if it's all at a jaunty angle, so much the better, because otherwise you feel like you've got an expanse of space up the top there. Well, I do. Actually, I don't like that. I like it straight in an odd way. That's nice. And I feel like I want something else at the back now, because that's not necessary to have all of that. There we go. Look at that. That's better. Alright, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bit scraps of paper, a bit of lace and a homemade label. That can now go on anything and make it look more interesting. So if you're sending something interesting, like some photographs, old photographs, or some money to a relative, or a little note, or anything, a brown envelope can be jazzed up with something like that. And you change the wording, you stamp whatever you want to have on there. So now any envelope can have a little bit of extra on there. You write somebody's name, and it's just a bit of fun, isn't it, really? Just a little bit of wallpaper. I want to see that number, actually, that 18. So it's nice to see the layers, so make sure you see the layers, see the number, see the interesting bits, everything loose at the sides, nothing too stuck down. Okay, then we get our lace. Get your lace in place. And if you want to ink around any edges, you can. That looked quite nice. So I'm going to put that one down. That's great. So I'm just going to put a lot more down for my lace. If you've got Fabri-Tac, that would be brilliant. Put down that. What's this? Oh, look, this is a good one. How about a bit of this? This is tracing paper with some alcohol ink marker on it and then sprayed with alcohol. So that's interesting. I'm just going to put something together here which is a bit more rustic. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick that straight onto this bit here. Okay, so that's now my label. Tear off the straight edge. So I've got some music paper here. And sometimes all you want is just a little fragment. Just to bring something to it. Now this glue I'm using, there's a little bit of movement to it. It doesn't grip straight away. So I have got a chance to move things into position. Let's have a look. If we're looking at this sharp line there, and everything else is wibbly wobbly, floaty, but the second you sort of see these lines together, your eye's drawn to them. But what if we just add some interesting piece of fabric there and glue that down properly? What would that do? It's similar, it's in a similar colour, and it just softens everything. So I'm going to try that. So because there's a blank spot there, I'm just going to add this circle here. And that's now my cluster. Alright, so I've got them here. You can make them as pretty, as intricate, or as loose and as you like. So there we go. There's using the labels, the lace, label and lace, and scraps. So here I've got some layers. I've got the brown packaging, a different brown packaging in a different colour, so we've got two browns. I've got my book page, I've got a little bit of vintage map, and then I've got this, which was a drop sheet just from some ink sprays when I was doing some art. I've got a bit of digital kit, which is just in a nice blue, just a scrap off of the computer, and then I've got my lace and my new little label that I've made. But I do feel up here there's just, you know, a little bit, yeah, that's fine, but it could be, let's have a look. What if I, now, what if that, then you've got another little layer, another little extra bit going in there. Okay, so clusters can become really interesting, and they also showcase all your papers. So if you've made things or you've got some interesting vintage bits, it's just a way of showing off little tiny bits. So you've got your brown packaging, you've got your book page, you've got some coffee stained paper, you've got, or ink dyed, you've got a scrap of fabric or lace, you've got this fluffy, interesting, it's a variety of different textures all working together, jostling together in one nice arrangement. Nothing's lined up, everything's a bit off center. You've got all the intrigue of the varying lines as they are higgledy-piggledy put together, and on the back it just looks like that. So you are just going to be sticking it to something, and then, you know, you could then just add some other extra element like a wax seal and or a button, and you've created something really, really interesting from very little, from nothing. What does that cost us? A bit of lace. Well, that could have been something that you pulled off of your clothing. That could have been a little bit of trim that just so happened to come at the bottom of something that you own already that no longer fits you. Okay, when you're happy with your cluster, you want to sort of pinch it and then just see if you can get in there with the glue and just stick it down initially in all the layers of where you want it, so that it doesn't move from where you've decided that you're having it, and then you can glue it down a bit better once you've got that initial bit stuck down. The other alternative is you put a paper clip over it and then start pinning it down from there. So you could just get your paper clip on it where you're happy, and then you can either take it to the sewing machine and just run a straight stitch all the way through, which looks amazing, or you can just glue it and be done with that, and that would be absolutely fine, especially when you're dealing with something like that where you've put a label over the top of the lace. It probably doesn't need the sewing, because you've already brought in the cotton aspect of having the lace, or you know, this sort of thing. We might want to double lace and put it behind. Okay, so on this one I've got a little bit of note paper with the lines. I've then got my fragment of lace. I've got a little piece of coffee dyed paper that was, or tea stained paper, which was hit by the pan, so it's got a grey effect on it. A little bit of packaging paper and my new little label here that we've just made. Then this area here just looks like it wants something else, so I'm thinking of just adding a fragment of my music paper, and then that's my interesting cluster made of nothing. I had everything here. That could be a digital kit. Okay, so scrap lace clusters with interesting labels. That's that, guys. That's the coffee pot challenge this week, and those are things that will go into our journals. We can put them on envelopes, we can put them on pockets and tucks and the top of a page, and that's something that you can have, you know, when you're just, if you want to do some journaling and you just want something added on, you know, something as sweet as that, just on the little, they're just little embellishments, and they've cost nothing, absolutely nothing to make. So and it's all artistic, and all you've done is used your rubber stamps. Well, they could be musical note stamps, they could be more pretty botanics, they could be text, that could be script. Numbers are cool. You could have your own words. You could do these could be the things that you have in your journal that say the month. So you could have August stamped on it. This is what I did on the stamp yesterday. I stamped August across that fabric piece there. So nothing to stop you doing August, September, October, and these be the tops of your pages to lead you into that month. So there we go, that's an idea for you. And then we've got these really sweet little labels here to just add to things and become a little bit of treasured interest throughout the journal. And the different coloured papers is interesting as well. So there you have it. How to make labels, how to make some clusters, and how to craft for free. Okay guys, I hope you've had fun and value here. Do please like and subscribe, and above everything else, just slow down and make crafting time for you. Bye bye now.